Good morning, students. Welcome to the new lecture, and this is our fifth lecture on the nature of significance of management. Now, the topic is the function of management. This is a very important topic, and it is actually the base of the management we are going to study today. So, according to the function of management, management is divided into the five functions. That is, first is the planning, then the organizing, third one is the staffing, then directing, and the next, last but not the least, is the controlling function. Now, first of all, if we concentrate on the first function of the management, that is planning. Now, planning is the first function. Planning is the first function performed by every manager. Now, this is the very first startup function where every manager has to perform this. In this function, it means deciding in advance what to do, how to do, when to do, and who is going to do. So, this is a very important function being a manager, because he is only the manager who is to decide in advance, because planning is always based on the future plans. For the future oriented, planning is called the future oriented. On the basis of the past experiences, we decide our future. Now, next is to deciding in advance what to do. What to do, what are the objectives? The manager has to first see and analyze all the objective of the organization. Then he has to decide that what should be the perfect plan to achieving that objective. The next is how to do it. What are the resources? How we can achieve in the objective? That is also to be taken care of. When to do, that is also important, the time factor, and who is going to do. How many employees, how many laborers, how many people are required, they have to also taken care about. So the next step is it bridges, actually the planning is a bridge. It bridges the gap between where we stand and where we want to reach. So planning is a very important function, means it is actually, you can say, a link that where we are here and where we want to reach. It is actually just like play as a bridge, as a link. Now, next is the deciding in advance the objective and how to accomplish. Now, there are the 2 points, there are the 2 words, that is the objective and the other one is the accomplishment. Now, first the planning is to decide all the objective, what are the targets, what are the aim of the organization, and how to accomplish it, that is also important. So these 2 points, the key factor is very important, the objective as well as how to accomplish it. So these 2 are basic of the planning. Now the next is the base of all the function. As you know that the management has a 5 basic function. First is the planning, and the planning is the base of the other 4 functions, that is the organizing, staffing, and directing and controlling. So the other 4 function is basically divided into the planning function. Now go to the second function, that is organizing. Now in this function, we can say that it is in the second function of the management. Here it is to organize the activities and establishing the whole structure to execute the plan. The second function, once we make our plan, the second function is to organize all the activity related to the employees, activity related to how to manage the finance and everything, and also establishing the whole structure. By organizing the activity, we are actually working on the framework, the whole structure of the management. The second one is the structure referred to. What do we mean by the structure? Now, structure referred to deciding the framework. The framework means how many units are there to achieve the result. Now you are also going to divide the units, then subunit. what kind of departments you require, the post and the designation, which kind of the people you require, that is also very important. The other is the distribute the authority and responsibility. When you are assigning the duties, when you are deciding the departments, post and designation, you are to the next step is to giving the authority and the responsibility. It is also come into the organizing function. The next is the deciding skeleton of the organization. Basically, we can say in the organizing function, we are actually doing the work on the skeleton of the structure of the organization. Now, next move to the staffing. Staffing means all activity related to the employees. It is actually called the manning. Actually, staffing is the function which is purely related to the employees, related to the worker, related to the man only. So here it means it comes in the staffing, it comes the recruitment function, then the selection function, appointment, assigning of the duties, maintenance, cardiac relation, taking care of grievances also. Now here it means recruitment means just offering the number of people or offering the job to the number of people. Here inviting, actually we can say the right word is inviting the more and more people to come to fill the requirement of the job. Then the next step is the selection. When the recruitment process is over, we go to the selection process. It is we can say the selection process is also called the negative process, because here how many forms you are taking in the selection process, you are selecting maybe from the hundreds or the thousands, you are just selecting a very small person who is competent of the job. So next step is the selection. After the selection, the next step comes to the appointment. Here appointment is given to the person who is really get the job in the organization. Once the appointment is over, once the appointment is given to the particular person, the next step is to, for that particular person, the organization has to assign the duties. So what kind of the work is going to give to that very person who is appointed for the particular job. It is not only just appointing a person for a particular job, also maintaining the cordial heart-to-heart relations with the employees also. That is very important to motivate the employees. Also taking care of their grievances. If they have any problem in the organization, they has to also take care about, because these are the person who is going to work in the field, work in the sitting in the office. So their mental satisfaction and their psychological satisfaction is required to fulfill the job. Next is the training and development. Not only recruitment, selection and appointment, overall training, time to time training is also important, and overall development of the employees is important if the particular organization want to excel more and more. Next is deciding the remuneration, promotion, increments, evaluation performance, personal records also. So in the staffing, also the taking care of the remuneration, like what kind of the job profile is, according to that the remuneration is to be decided. The promotion activities, what are the policies of the increment, that has to also take care about. Evaluation of performance, that is also very important. And the personal required, maintaining of the personal required is also be in the staffing process. Now, estimating the number and type of employee need in present and near future. That is also the function of the staffing, to estimating the number of employees, how many employees are needed in a particular job, in a particular project to fulfill. That is also required and be done by the staffing. And what kind of the person and the types of employee they needed. It is for the present as well as for the near coming future. So every time what is the need of the organization about their employees about the how many people are required for the particular job. It is a duty and it is a function of the staffing function. Now come to the fourth one is the directing. Now directing, once the staffing is done, once the person is selected for the particular job, the next step is the directing. Now in the directing, it means that giving the instruction, instruct to the employees to work done, giving the direction to motivate them. It means that once you are selected a person for a particular job, and next step or the next function is to instruct them what kind of work they are going to perform, how they can do that work, giving them the direction, and also along with the direction, the motivation of the employee is very important, because it is only the motivation which trigger the employees for the work. Next is the supervise the activity through the communication. Now, until and unless the employee doesn't know about how to do the work, so supervision is very much important. That it means the overall vision. The supervision means a super plus vision. We can say that on the whole, you are just seeing and checking the employee that how they are doing their activity. Are they doing the activity and are they performing the work according to the norms, according to the guidance given to them? And it can only be possible with the help of the communication. With the good communication, you can motivate your employee and supervise your employee. Next is to manager act as a leader and guide them at the right direction. Only a good manager is a leader, and because manager leads the group of the people, that's why we can say only these directing function can only be performed good if a manager is a good leader, because he is a person who is leading the number of people. So we can say in a directing we have a 4 basic pillar of directing, that is the supervision, motivation, communication and leadership. These are the 4 pillars of the directing process. It means supervision is very much important in this process. We give the direction, giving the guidance to the employees, and also tell how to do the work. Next is the motivation. The work is not to be done on a good way if the people who are working are not motivated properly. Once you are just motivated and trigger their mind for the work, once you are prepare your employees for the work, you need not to be see or supervise so many times. So motivation along with the supervision is very important, and that can only be achieved with the help of the communication. The good communication can target both the supervision and the motivation. Next is the leadership. A manager must have the leadership quality, because if a manager is a good leader, only then they can supervise, they can motivate and they can communicate better with the employees. Next is the 5th function. Last but not the least function is the controlling function. It is the last function of management, but also a very important function. It actually ensures the work accomplished as per the plan. Now, controlling function is a basic function. It means it is the last function where we have to ensure that the work is accomplished according to the plan or not. So, how can we accomplish? How can we check that the work has done according to the plan? So, we have to comparison between the plan and the actual performance. We have the two. We have actually the yardstick. Like we are to prepare that my work is to be done with the help of this plan. If that actual work is not performed according to the plan, it means there is a deviation. So if any deviation, then try to find out the reason. If there is any deviation, maybe of any of the reason, we have to find out that reason, we have to work on that area and suggest the corrective action. So controlling is not only finding, not only just investing or seeing that there is a deviation, Also, to suggest the corrective measure to overcome from that deviation is also the part of the controlling process. Next is the follow up the action that keep actual performance on the path of plan. So follow up is very important. So controlling is a very regular function, like the how the work is performing. We are to regularly check them that either it is according to the norms and policies according to the organization. So these are the 5 functions of the management. As in being a manager, each and every manager has to perform these 5 functions. Thank you.